So once you're done with your reaction, that is dissolving your insoluble base in a fixed amount of your acid, it means that your reaction is complete. Once it is unable to dissolve the further base that you're adding, it means your reaction is complete. Now the second step is you have to filter your mixture. Fine, you have to filter your mixture. What does it mean? Because as you were dissolving insoluble base in a powder form with acid, with a fixed amount of acid, what was going on? There was a reaction that acid was dissolving the insoluble base, and further the addition of base will make the acid unable to dissolve further. It means you have got your saturated solution. Fine, girls. Saturated solution means saturated solution of your salt. Fine, solution of your salt. What does it mean? A saturated solution of your salt means you will get your salt in ionic form as well as your water. So a fixed amount of acid will dissolve a fixed amount of your insoluble base. The further addition of your insoluble base will not lead to the reaction, so your insoluble form of base will present in powder form in the reaction. So in order to separate it out, you have to filter it. Fine, you have to go for filtration technique. This result will gives you your solution, your saturated solution. Fine, your saturated, I'm going to correct the spelling, saturated solution. Along with that, if you have filtered it, then on the filter paper you will get your insoluble bases. Fine, because they haven't reacted with the acid, or the acid was unable to react with the insoluble base because already it has dissolved its limited amount of insoluble base in it. So you will get your saturated solution. Now this story doesn't end here. Once you obtain your saturated solution, then the third step is you will heat it gently. Fine, heat it gently. What does it mean? Heat it gently means you will not directly heat your solution. You will use a heating, you can say a water bath in order to heat your saturated solution. Fine, so this will give you your saturated solution. Now the fourth step is to just let your solution to rest. Let your solution to rest because it has done a lot of work. Let your solution to rest. Fine, girls. Now this will lead to the formation of large size crystal. At least you have to let your solution stand for at least 24 hours or 2 days. Fine, and this will give you large crystals. So you will obtain your crystal, or simply you will get your big crystals. Fine. And the fifth step is to just dry your crystal. That is a easy step. Dry your crystal. Fine, it can be done by just dabbing the crystals with the filter paper. So girls, these were the techniques used in order to obtain your crystals, and these are not mentioned in your book. Just you have to remember the steps. In the first steps, you were just reacting your insoluble base. I'm repeating it, girls, because usually you girls find difficult in reactions, so I'm going to repeat it another time. Okay, so first thing is your reaction of insoluble base with your acids. This will give you your salt and water. Fine, and now your salt will be in ionic form. So in order to get that salt in crystal form, first you have to evaporate the water, isn't it? First you have to evaporate the water. For doing that, first you have to make a saturated solution. What is a saturated solution mean? That contain a fixed amount of your insoluble base in acid, or simply the exact amount of a base that the addition of further base will not lead to the chemical reaction. Fine girls? So first step reaction. The second step was to, once you're done with your reaction, and if there are remaining insoluble bases, first you have, the second step is to remove them out. That is the filtration technique. So once you get your saturated solution, you have to heat it in order to evaporate the water. Then you have to let your solution to rest so that it can rest for a while, not for a while, but you have to let it to stand for 24 hours or 48 hours, like for 1 or 2 days. Fine. Then finally, once you're done with your crystal formation, then you have to take out your crystal and dry them, wash them, and store for yourself. So this was all about the reactions, how to get your salt from your from acids. Fine. Acid reactions with base. In the first place, we were just using metal as a base. In the second reaction, we were using the compound of our metal as a base, and we are left with one other reaction, that is the reaction of acid with soluble base. Now the third part include the reaction of your acid with a soluble base. So in the third part, I will be going to explain this reaction. Fine girls?